Hello, looks like we're live. So while I'm waiting for people to join who want to join live and answer any questions for them, I'll just do a few minutes. I'm out in the garden here. It's Thursday, it's 2 p.m. It's the weekly bite session, and I want to cover today some tax questions that we've been having, and of course some of the COVID-19 questions that we've been dealing with. And if you're joining live, then let me know that you're here and who you are, and let me know if you've got any specific questions to your situation. Before I do get started on some of the questions that I've received this week, and I've written them here, and I'm going to answer the questions of people who've actually asked me questions on tax first of all, and then I'll go into the COVID questions that I've had. I just want you to take a 2 minutes to say it doesn't matter what situation that we have right now, whether it's really bad or you're one of the privileged ones. There's always somebody worse off than us, you know. So although it's bad right now, there's always going to be somebody who's further down that chain of badness. So even if you're looking at your situation and thinking, how am I going to survive the next 2 months, think about the people who are in a worse situation than you, and that will make you smile and make you realize that you're still very privileged. That's what I think of every day when I'm thinking, oh, this is wrong and that's wrong, and how am I going to manage this? I just think of all the people who are worse off than me. So if this is not a lesson of morale, as they would say, it's just something that my mum used to always say to me when I was younger. Actually, when I would complain about things, she would always say to me, and what you're going through, there's always somebody worse off than you, so stop complaining. So that is where I got that from. So this is just passing on some wise words from my mum over to you guys out there in the club. If you're having a difficult time right now, just remember there's always somebody worse off than you, and really there really is always somebody worse off than you. Okay, so that's enough of that. I wanted to get on with some questions today. So we'll start off with the tax, and then we'll go into some of the COVID questions. So we've probably got about 20 minutes in front of us. So hopefully if you're joining now, you're going to benefit from all of it, but if not, you'll watch it on the replay. For those watching on the replay, do ask me any questions in the Facebook page. So from the tax, a gentle reminder that the online tax declarations opens on the 20th of April, and that if you don't have an online account, make sure that is the first priority you want to work on, because sending paper declarations is going to be becoming more and more difficult, especially with the coronavirus right now. So the tax people are saying to get an online account, and if you don't have an online account, then all you need to do is send an email to the tax office with your fiscal number, asking for that, giving them your ID details. And if you need some advice or help with that, you're really stuck, just let us know. We can get that very quickly organised for you. At least Jenny can. So drop an email to Jenny and ask her to see if you can get the online account sorted. Everybody who's an auto entrepreneur will have an online professional account. We will have organised that for you, but we won't have organised your online personal account. So that is what is important for your tax declaration. So online tax declarations opens on the 20th of April, and it closes on the latest, it's the 12th of June. So it depends what department you are in. And don't forget, this morning I sent an email out with all of the different deadlines. So do check the emails that I'm sending out to you, because it's got some very important information in there. Okay. So one question that came through was, I thought the tax declarations were based on full household revenue, regardless of being married. No, that is not the case. Tax is based on household revenue, yes, but if you're not married or paxed, then it's separate declarations. So if you have a situation, you have a man and a woman living together who are just living as common law husband and wife, then you would have separate tax declarations. If you're paxed or married, then you would make if you got married in 2019, you would be making your declaration now. You have the choice for 2019 to make a joint declaration as a married couple, or to do two separate declarations. So the first year of marriage, you have the choice. The second year, so next year, you would not have a choice, because you'll be declaring 2020 income where you was married for the whole year. So, but if you're not married or paxed, then it's separate tax declarations, one in the husband's name, one in the guy's name, or one in the wife's name. And if you've got children, of course, then you want to determine who's going to be attached to which household. Okay, so it's not an automatic, it's only if you're married. Okay. What do you do if you have salaried income and auto entrepreneur income? Of course, that's happens for many people. They have a salaried income, plus they have a top-up auto-entrepreneur income, and some people even have some retirement income coming in and rental income, so that's fine. It just means you would declare that there's revenue on different forms. So the salaried revenue is declared on the base document, it's a 2042, and in the email I sent out today there was a video in there which explains more about the base document 2042. And your auto-entrepreneur income would be declared on the 2042C Pro. Again, that is the document where you would declare anything to do with auto-entrepreneur business, even entreprise individuelle or réelle income, so if you're in a different type of business regime as well, and your rental income would be declared in that as well. So depending on what stream of income you have, there may be a different document. So salary would be declared on 2042. Your hi Juanita, your salaried income 2042, your auto entrepreneur income on the 2042C Pro, your overseas income would be declared on 2047. If you've got unfurnished property, the 2044. So you see there are different revenue streams and they can be declared on different documents. And again, today in the email there was a video that I did, and it's a couple of years old, this video, but the actual information in it is actually still true today. The deadlines may be different. So so that was a question that came in from Gillian. Understanding the reduction of tax for auto entrepreneurs. So it doesn't matter how many times they explain this, I know it's difficult to understand. When you're an auto entrepreneur, you receive from your clients the money for the services you have or products you have provided, and of course that money, you cannot reduce any costs from the business for that. So if you invoice €1,000, you're going to declare €1,000 for your social charges, which Jenny declares every month or every quarter. Okay, that is not your income tax, that's your social charges. Okay, that's your contribution into the healthcare system, to your retirement. Then on a yearly basis you do your income tax, and what happens there is that €1,000 that you have earned, hopefully you've earned more than that, but if it's €1,000, you would declare that on your tax declaration form, which I've just said was the 2042C Pro for auto entrepreneur income. And in fact what the tax office will do, they will give you an automatic reduction. So depending what type of business activity you have, that reduction is higher. So for example, for intellectual liberal activities, it's 34% reduction from that €1,000. So that basically means you only pay tax on 66% of your €1,000. Then for services or commercial services or artisans or manual type activities, you get a 50% reduction. So that €1,000 that you declared on your 2042C Pro, they would take 50% off, and you will only pay tax on 50% of that €1,000. Okay, so on €500. And then of course for anybody who has an activity where it's selling, buying and selling, or they have a JEET type business, they get a 71% reduction because they have higher overheads, so they get 71% off their €1,000. Okay, and basically so you declare the turnover, and the tax office takes off the percentage. So you always declare your turnover, you don't take off your social charges, you declare your turnover. And why do they give you that's a big discount? Is because they know that that €1,000 that you got paid by your client is not your net profit. From that you've paid your social charges, you've paid, you know, possibly petrol to go to see your client, maybe you bought one or two, you know, some paper or printers and things like that. So that is how the percentage works for the auto entrepreneur. You get a reduction once you declare it. Okay. Another question that came, which was quite an interesting one, was I also pay €400 per month into a private pension. Does this change anything for your tax declaration? Well, yes, it could do. It depends what type of retirement pension, private pension you pay into. So for example, if you had a PERP, that is something that can be put on your tax declaration. Actually, I wrote it down here. It's under the 2042 base document under section 6, charge déductible, épargne retraite. So there's a percentage fix that you can reduce, and I think it's 10%. But there's an actual good website you can have a look at that, and I put that in the I actually put that in the Facebook page just recently, financial products. I will put it in again. So yes, if you pay into a private pension, that could be something that you could benefit from some reduction, depending what type of financial product it is, of course, so to be checked. Another question that came in was, how can I be sure that I'm paying enough each month, excuse me, from my tax liability? Now that's a difficult one, because of course if you're a salaried person, then your tax is coming off at source at your salaried level, so you know exactly what's being paid. If, on the other hand, you're having overseas income or you have a business, it's difficult to be sure that you're paying the right amount. So of course that is why now online you can modify whenever you want your percentage that you pay in, so that it can reflect the reality of the situation now, because of course the tax office are working on the relative situation of 2019, well 2018 at the moment, okay? So that's going to change when you do tax declaration in May. So one of the first things is to make sure you go online and change it. And how can you be sure even with that when you don't understand how tax is worked out? Of course there's the online simulation tools that you can use. Another way of a rule of thumb, hi Liesel, a rule of thumb to check how much you'd be paying is usually the monthly amount you're bringing into the household. There's usually, that is the amount you would pay in tax per year. So if you're bringing in 4k a month, then usually you'll have about a 3.5k of liability of tax. Now, of course, that is affected by how many children you have and things like that. So that's just a rule of thumb and not to be quoted. But generally speaking, you should be putting away about a month's amount of salary or revenue to make sure, or you should be paying a month online, okay? But for anybody who's not sure, especially for revenue that is coming from overseas, which is not calculated, because if the tax office are not aware of that you've got money coming from overseas, they're not going to be including it in your percentage online, okay? And that is where the difficulty comes in. If it's salaried or retirement pension, they know about it, because it's a fixed amount generally every month coming in. But when it's something that's coming from different sources, that's when you have to be careful. And to avoid too much liability, just go on your online personal tax account and modify how much you're paying based on the reality of the situation now, which could go up or it could go down, okay? So that was the tax questions I've been having coming in this week, so I hope they're useful to you. And today I did send out a video explaining the different documents, and I also sent out a video on, I think it was yesterday, or I think it might have been yesterday, on the coronavirus. So we'll go on to a few updates on that. As you all know, it's the 11th of May. I was quite good. I told you it was the 25th of April, but it's actually more than that. So we've got till the 11th of May. Children are supposedly progressively going back to school from the 11th of May onwards. Details of how that will work are still to be known, and quite frankly, I think we need to wait before we panic about this. They have to put lots of things in place to make it a safe environment, so it's from the 11th of May onwards, okay? So let's wait and see what happens with that. So the different aids that are available, and I've been sending these out over the last couple of weeks, and I've spoken to many of you on the phone. I apologise for a few of you that I haven't managed to get back to in the last couple of days, but it's been a little bit crazy. So for those that we've put in a request already for the Fond de Solidarité, so the fund, the solidarity funds, which is the €1,500. For those of you who can't remember what that is, because I know there's lots of different ones that have come out, the €1,500 is available to any small business or even medium-sized business with a net profit of less than €60,000. And that is requested via online personal tax account. And if you have lost 50% of your earnings or more, or if your business has been closed down due to coronavirus, you can request up to €1,500, and they pay you the difference of what you've lost, basically. So there's a few of you we've done the requests for. We're waiting for that money to come in. There's been over 800,000 requests to the tax office website for this, half of which have been paid back so far, and another half that haven't. If you haven't received it yet, don't panic. They are in the process of doing this. It's also a question, they might be checking the IBANs and things like that, because if we have a different IBAN to what they have on your tax account, then they will check that. So do bear with them. But if we've done it for you, we are checking into it for you. And that is a renewable thing that can be done every month during the confinement period, and I sent out a video yesterday on how you can do that. If you want to request it yourself, you just go online, follow the video. It's literally 10 minutes. It's very easy to do, but if you want to be able to follow that yourself, then that's something you should watch. So that's the first request, and as I heard, the feedback is coming back from the tax office that they are still dealing with them. One question that came in, quarterly or monthly. So when you're requesting this 1,500 euros, you're going to compare, for example, for March, your March 2019 earnings to the March 2020 earnings. But what happens if you're on quarterly? Or I think it was, I think maybe it was Juanita who asked, you know, if she was in monthly and then's gone to quarterly, or vice versa. How do you know what numbers to use? And it's a very good question, and it's something we've come across. So the common sense answer is what we'll be applying here. So if you meet the criteria, if March versus March, and you have lost more than 50%, if you can work out what your March revenue was for 2019 compared to your March revenue 2020, even if you declare it on a quarterly basis, or that has been changed, and you've lost 50%, then use those numbers. If you're on a quarterly basis and on a monthly basis it doesn't work because you had a really good month, but you're having a bad quarter, then take the quarterly amount. Okay, so you advise the quarterly amount and use the quarterly amount for 2020. Okay. So for most people, they can break it down to a monthly amount, and that is possibly the easiest way to do it. So whether it's quarterly or monthly, you can break it down to that 1 month and then compare the two. And of course, for that, you just put in the document I sent you in the video I showed you, you just plug the numbers in, and it tells you automatically how much money they're going to give you. Okay, so you know straight away. So Juanita, I'm not sure if you're on the call or not, but I hope you watch this and that helps you with your answer to the question on claiming the 1,500 euros of the Solidarity Fund. For those of you that could not meet the criteria for that 1,500 euros, there is still another aid that you can request if you're in difficulty. So there's a few people maybe at 40% or something have lost a lot of the business, but still are struggling. There is another one that you can apply for, which is, and I think I brought a copy of it here with me to show you if I can find it in all of my documents here. It's this one, the Aide Financière Exceptionnelle Action Sociale. I don't know if you can see that, everybody can see that here. So this is one really that goes through the Social Security Independent website, and it's basically to help people in difficulty who have not benefited from the 1,500 euros help. And you can put in here that you've lost your revenue and that you need help with your social charges and things like that. So we haven't had anybody request that help yet in the group, but if anybody does need, and we will definitely help you with it, because very beginning, nobody is an expert in the coronavirus. We'll help you as much as we can within the realms of our possibility. Okay, and I say the we, it's the big we, it's the Jenny, it's Annalise, it's myself, it's not just me, of course. So that is the second type of help you can get. There is also another help that is coming out through the Social Security Independent. It's help. It's called the Aide CPSTI, and again I put that in the email yesterday, and that is up to 1,250. It depends on which retirement arm you are paying into, and that I don't know for everybody, but it will get paid automatically up to 1,250. So if anybody does get that, I would be very interested to hear from you. You have nothing to do, and it's basically if your business since the 1st of January 2019, before you have to be in business before the 1st of January and be paying into the régime complémentaire des indépendants. So if you meet those conditions, then you're going to get a bit of extra help, I think. There's also going to be some help for people who are on RSA. So people who have the really low revenue and getting help RSA, they will be getting supplementary help in May. I don't think that will be for many people in this group here, but if it is, then and you need some help with the cath, there's something going wrong, then shout out, and if we can help you, we will. I know we've helped a few of you already. It's a bit windy here, sorry, my hair's blowing all over the place. So, oh, there's Juanita, you are here. Did I answer your question, Juanita? Did you understand what I was saying about the quarterly and the monthly, the comparison between? for your declaration. And there's a video yesterday which just shows you how to go online and do it. If you're having difficulties, reach out to Jenny, she can do that for you, or with you at least anyway. So to finish off now is staying yes, whatever works best, exactly. Don't compare apples and pears, compare apple and apple. That's the best way I can put it for you. To finish off, the most important thing to think about right now is keeping safe. I'm not going to repeat what's been said every single day about healthy and distances and stuff, because I think we all have enough common sense on that. I think what's really important is staying positive, helping each other in the Facebook group that we have. There's many people in there. There's people who have skills that can help you, or you've got skills that can help other people. Please reach out to them and raise your hands and say, I've got time on my hands right now, can I help you with something? It's all about, you know, as much help as you can. As you can imagine, the LBS team are crazy busy trying to help as many people as we can in the group. So if you can help anybody in the group because you have free time, then shout out and try and help. And lastly, I would say from the tax side of things, we have the webinar on the 23rd, so please do join. For anybody who has questions, please come on and we will answer any questions that we can on your particular situation, but everybody's situation in general, especially on the entrepreneur side of things. If anybody has problems getting an online account for the tax, for the personal income tax, the business tax is already organised, I'm talking personal income tax, shout out and let us know, because just an email needs to be sent, and if you're having difficulty with that, then let us know as well. I think I've been through quite a lot today, so hopefully this has been a good session for everybody. And if you missed the beginning, watch from the, you know, go back and watch it on the replay. I will try and send it out by email to those people who are not on Facebook as well, so you'll all benefit from the different questions that people have asked this week. Now, as more questions come in, please do send them either via Facebook or drop the email in an email, and next Thursday I will come online and do the same thing. I will answer your questions, and if you want to be hot seated, if you've got a really big problem, then let me know and I will hot seat it in the Facebook page as well. Okay, that's it from me. Have a wonderful day, productive as you possibly can, and let's take this opportunity to, you know, if you can, take time for yourself and for you and your children. Make the most of it. It's a little bit of a, for many people, it's a bit of what they call the parenthèse, the brackets, what we can spend some time with our loved ones. You know, I'm just really privileged to be working with so many wonderful people in this group. I'm so pleased that I'm here to help you and support you in the way we can. And this is now the right time to really shout out and help each other. So let's keep on doing that, okay? So big kiss to you all. Have a wonderful day. Keep positive, keep smiling, and keep safe. See you next week. Bye.